I'm Stephen Millstein, one of the owners and the attorney at Certified Title. I'm here today with Julia Nolan, our Director of Operations. Jewel, thanks for joining me today. Appreciate your time and your expertise. Jewel, I was talking to an agent the other day who said, he'd had some problems with a transaction, and he said, man, choosing the right title company is so important. And I know you work with some great agents. So when you talk to the agents you work with and you're sort of really emphasizing what makes Certified special, why it's so great for them to work with you, what are the key points? Like what would you really highlight to agents out there listening to this video to say, hey, this is why you would really want to work with Certified Title. This is why we're better, different than other title companies that are asking for their business.
I think when I hear complaints about other title companies or when other people say like, this title company is terrible, the things that they're complaining about are communication. Like they can't get anyone on the phone. They don't know who to contact when it comes to things. Like no one's reaching out to them. And so I think with us, there's always a point of contact. There's always communication. Everyone's always responding. And, you're getting, the processor on the file who has so much experience. And the way that we structure the office is we don't really release, the employees to be having those client communications until we're confident that they can hold up their end of the conversation, right? So that structure of like the training and the pushing them through. And so by the time you are able to speak to someone in this office or that person's allowed to take calls and talk, they're very well informed. And customer service is so important to us, right? I mean, that's how we don't get our business any other way. And people use us because they like us. And I think that that's, really important. And things happen and there's problems at the table and people are fighting over carpet and windows and things like that. And just when they're at the closing, being able to call us and say, we need to figure out how we're going to negotiate this and what do we do and what are the next steps. And I mean, we deal with that all day long. So I think we do a great job because we're handling all those calls.
Well, I said to someone earlier, and you could touch on this a little bit. I said, we say we've been in business for 31 years, right? But that can be misleading because another title company might say, oh, we've been in business for a long time too. But what's really critical in that statement is that most of our staff has been here for much of that period of time. You've been with the company for 25 years is about. So it's not just that we've been in business for so long, but everyone here has been here so long. They have such a breadth of experience. They know so much. They've seen so much. Like when someone works with you, they're working with someone who's been in this business for a long time.
Yeah. I mean, I think that that's the catch when it comes to title because it's very, legal side of things where, it's not 2 + 2 = 4 on every transaction. So the more experience that you have, the more valuable you are because there's no book that I can give them that's going to say this is every scenario you're going to come across. It's knowing enough of when to ask the question, when to escalate to the next person, or being able to maneuver through whatever the issue is. If there's an exemption on the taxes and how do we handle that on the settlement sheet and things like that. So the point of having someone who's been around for so long and been here for so long and can do so much is because, they're more valuable than the new person. It takes someone 10 years to get, where they need to be able to work here.
Well, look, I'll wrap that up by highlighting, oftentimes when we're trying to hire, right, we talk to people and they say, oh, I was a processor at this title company. And then they come here and we find out that the definition of a processor at that title company was entering figures on a CD.
Yeah.
A processor at Certified Title really understands
The whole thing,
the entire
beginning to end, like how,
right.
What endorsements they can issue at the commitment level that are going to be able to be issued at the policy later on at the end. And, what the cost of all that is and what it means.
Yeah. I mean, someone who gets to talk to you here is getting a wealth of experience they're not going to get from somebody at another title company. Anyway, Julie, thanks for spending a few minutes with me today. I appreciate your information about the stuff. It's great stuff to talk about. And hopefully we'll have a chance to work with you soon. Let us know if there's anything we can do for you. And thanks very much.